Morning, everyone. All right, just waiting for a couple more minutes. In the meantime, feel free to announce yourself in the group chat. I will give a couple more minutes before we start on this webinar. Um, all right, good morning, everyone. Welcome to mKonnekt's first webinar. So we're just starting this webinar to talk about what we have been doing at mKonnekt. That is basically using social media to convert customers into brand ambassadors. This webinar will actually have it for 40 minutes. For the first 20-25 minutes, we'll be talking about mKonnekt, who we are, and what is the importance of customer data, how brands and some of our clients are using this customer data to improve decision-making process and also their bottom lines and top lines as well from a growth perspective. We'll talk about the A2A model, which is our awareness to advocacy model with regards to customer life cycle, and also what are the different tools and strategies that we use with regards to social media and how we can get customer data and use that data to convert the customers into mostly into brand ambassadors. And then we'll actually end the call or end the webinar with a question and answer session where you can actually ask question and answers. But feel free to post any questions you might actually have in the group chat as well, and I'll get to them as and when I'm going through any specific use case, or maybe at the end. Right. So moving on, mKonnekt was formed in 2015, with emphasis on restaurant marketing. Again, my name is Seishu Madabushi. I'm actually the founder of mKonnekt. I founded the company in 2015 when I started interacting with many restaurant owners who actually, when they have started their restaurants, they always were of the opinion that they could do marketing for the first 2 or 3 months, and most of this marketing used to be around publishing it on publishing some coupons in door-to-door magazines, or distributing flyers, and that utterly failed. So I started the company in 2015 with focus on customer engagement, and we have a team of around 15 people spread all around 3 countries. India, we have a team here in Jamaica, which we started recently, and in US as well. Some of our clients include the franchisees for Denny's and Dairy Queen in Dallas, Palio's Pizza Cafe, which has around 40 units in Dallas. But we also have mom and pop stores like Biryani's and Origin Gyro. So our, again, emphasis has been mostly around customer engagement, and that is what we're going to talk in the next few slides. So with regards to, before we talk about anything to do with tools and strategies, we want to emphasize as to why customer data is important in today's world. According to Forbes Insights 2015, using customer data, what they have observed was brands were able to increase their customer loyalty, or customers have become more loyal to those brands by 47%. And in terms of gaining new customers, because their brands were able to understand customers better, and their ability to gain new customers has increased by 43%. And you can also see the customer satisfaction and customer retention have also increased using customer data. So in essence, or in a nutshell, using customer data, you as a restaurateur would be able to predict if any customer who have not visited you for the past like 15 or 20 days, you can send them an coupon, or send them an email asking them as to why they were not coming to the restaurant. You can understand your customer preferences, thereby increasing your customer loyalty, and then in terms of also increasing your revenues by ability to cross-sell and upsell. But the tricky question would basically be, how can you get customer data to increase customer engagement? It's more like a chicken and an egg problem. So you need to have customer data to engage with the customers, but for you to get customer engagement, you need to have customer data. So we always tell this to our clients: you need to take a first step towards customer data. And most of the brands or most of the restaurant owners might not be realizing that, but they do collect tons of data. It's just that ability to collect that data in a systematic way. Most of the restaurants nowadays actually have point of sale systems, and these actually have the point of sale systems are they can actually collect a lot of data. um, people who are visiting your website, people liking your social media pages. So all these represent different sets of data which you can collect and start utilizing that data so that you can hone this, or refine this data for you to be able to make better marketing decisions. And again, going back right to that is what we're going to talk in the next few slides, in terms of how you can use the customer data which you are collecting and which you should be collecting, and making better marketing decisions. Um, as earlier on we talked about, mKonnekt is basically as a customer engagement platform, and we see customer engagement with regards to starting from and right from the awareness stage to what we call as an advocacy stage. And this is our customer engagement model which we have come up with. So if you look at any customer, they go through multiple phases with regards to a brand. What we mean by that is a customer life cycle can be divided into 5 stages, right? The first one, what we call as an awareness stage. In this stage, a customer has to be aware of your restaurant, of your brand, of your offerings, so that they can put your brand or your restaurant into the decision making, saying, okay, if I want to go to a restaurant, okay, this restaurant exists, and for me to do that, this is the very first stage. In the sense, as a customer, I should be aware of your restaurant. That is stage number one. Once I'm aware of a particular restaurant or a particular brand, I move on, or the customer moves on to a second stage, what we call as an engagement stage. In this one, the customer is not only aware of your restaurant, but they also are going to your website or actively engaging on social media, liking your content or participating in some kind of contest, and so on and so forth. So this is what we call as the second stage in terms of the customer life cycle. Once they start engaging with your brand or with your restaurant, this could happen over multiple times. In the sense, they can start liking your Facebook page, and then they can go to your website and give out data about their email address and all those kind of things. And then they would move from engagement to what we call as an action phase or a purchase phase. In this case, the customer is actually either purchasing online or going into a restaurant to make that purchase. And then once they're satisfied with the purchase and with the customer service, they would actually move on to another phase, the fourth phase, what we call as a loyalty phase. In this case, the customer is loyal to your brand, and they are actually making the purchase directly, in the sense that they are just coming to your restaurant maybe like once every week or something like that, because they like the food, or the ambience is good and the customer service is good. So the loyalty is basically a manifestation of multiple factors. And from loyalty stage, we have a customer who's basically the fifth stage, what we call as an advocacy stage. Or in this case, the customer becomes a brand ambassador. So they are actually actively talking about your restaurant to their friends and family, thereby creating the much needed word of mouth buzz, which is far more valuable than any other marketing messaging you can come up with. So this is what we call as an A to A model, that awareness to advocacy. And going back, right, in all these stages, you as a restaurant owner would be able to get some or other customer data which you can use to create your customer persona, and use this persona to better market or find out new customers who actually have the same preferences or something like that. So in the next few slides, we're going to talk about how in each stage, what kind of strategies, what kind of tools which you actually have to adopt or implement, and what kind of customer data you can expect, and what would be the end result in terms of in each stage, what would be the result with regards to these tools and strategies which we're going to talk about. Right. In this case, the first stage is what we call as an awareness. In this case, again, the whole point is like you have to let your customers know that you as a restaurant owner or you as a restaurant exists. And there are multiple approaches which you can take, and some of them which we have listed here. You can run some social media campaigns, ads, and those kind of things. You can actually do some local marketing, again, with regards to your social media itself, right? And then we also you can also use the influencer marketing as well as referral marketing in terms of ability to influence, or at least let your prospective customers know about your brand, about what you're offering, right? With regards to the tools and strategies, if you look at social media campaigns, like anything, right? Facebook actually has um, great tools which will enable you to find out who your target customer is, and you can actually remarket that using that customer profile. So you can actually create like a customer list. There are multiple. If you go to your ad accounts, you can actually see the ability to create a customer list based on people who are engaging with your page, based on people who have watched your video, based on people who are actually coming to your website, and so on and so forth. The website part is basically using the Facebook pixel. Similarly, with Google Analytics, you have the UTM codes which you can use and try to figure out what is the kind of a customer or persona, or like, are they like male, female, with X number of years, and they come at so and so date or so and so time. And so that if you have all this information, you can start running your campaigns around targeting those customer personas, or run customer or run social media ads around those times. Similarly, with regards to your local marketing, you can actually look at tools like Localizer, or you can use your Facebook Insights and try to find out what other your competitors are doing, and then come up with strategies which you think are in line within the industry, as well as what others are actually doing. Like, for example, again, if you look at a restaurant, right, you can piggyback with a local nonprofit and run some social media campaigns and do some kind of local marketing. So that's also which you can use social media with regards to the awareness campaigns. Specifically with regards to the influencer marketing, you can try to find out who your local influencers are. These could be local foodies, or these could also be your customers who have a good sizable following. You can direct message them and ask them to come over, or give them some specific coupons or specific offers which will enable them to come to your restaurant, post it on social media. Thereby, they're kind of letting their followers know that, hey, I've been to this restaurant, and this is the picture of this particular pizza or particular dish, and this looks delicious. Oh, by the way, this is like a coupon for you guys, kind of a thing. Similarly, in this case, as we have seen before, from an awareness point of view, you have to provide tools to your existing customers so that they can let their friends and family know about your restaurant. So that is basically offering them some kind of referral marketing tools. So that way they can actually enable, or they'll be able to let their friends know that, hey, I've been to this restaurant and I like this place, or you can also avail this offer. We will be talking more about that in the advocacy stage. So with regards to, again, from an awareness point of view, social media, you have multiple tools and the strategies in terms of like tools like Facebook Insights or Twitter Analytics or Google Analytics to understand more about your current customers, and then start campaigns around using those customer persona to kind of refine and define your social media campaigns. And then in terms of like making sure that whatever budget you have, like even with a $50 or $100 budget, you're using that judiciously, because you are targeting those specific set of customers than just trying to address to the whole crowd, which would actually lose, as in like you're basically spraying and praying in general terms, like rather than having a very refined approach. Uh, so the next stage is in this one is like our engagement. Again, with regards to engagement, once a customer is aware, they have to start engaging with you as a brand or a restaurant. So you actually have to have good enough content on social media that will enable them to say, yes, I would like, for example, awesome pictures or some kind of offers or something like that, which will enable your prospective customers or your current customers to start liking that content. So when we actually say the approach in this case is content strategy, we are specifically referring this content strategy with regards to your social media. For example, the user generated content, right? We have recently ran a campaign for a few of our clients around the pet contest, and we have run this contest for a week. And what we have seen is, in one case, we have actually, in one of the clients' case, we have actually seen around 50 different pictures that were submitted as part of this pet contest, and we have around like 600 shares or something like that over these 50 pet pictures. And the end result was the awareness actually has been around like 18,000 within a week, in terms of the reach wise. And then we have also seen the number of likes have increased by 50, in terms of the numbers. And again, all we have used is a $25 gift certificate that we have actually said that people will win as part of this pet contest. And that's where we have got this amazing engagement in terms of people sharing the pictures, people liking it, and then they're visiting our website, they're basically liking our Facebook page, and so on and so forth. So the intent here is, again, from an engagement perspective, you need to have pictures, or you need to have content around what's happening in, like, for example, a chef is like cooking a dish. You can actually take a 30-second video of this one and post it all across different social media platforms. At the same time, you can actually use a customer and interview them, and then post it around different platforms as well. Again, bear in mind, once you actually start using the focus on, or using content with focus on engagement, you will get more and more customer data in terms of who your customer profile is, in terms of like who are the customers who are interacting with your pages. And you can use this data again to refine your awareness campaigns in terms of, again, we talked briefly about Facebook pixel, we talked about creating customer profile and remarketing and those kind of things, right? So this is where the content strategy plays a huge role from an engagement point of view. So your awareness and engagement are kind of intertwined, and you need to make sure that you have a good strategy around these in terms of coming up with good enough content, right? And then the second thing which you can also see is, like, again, if you look at it, right, um, you always have to ask this question as to why customers care. What is in it for customers to start engaging with your content or engaging with you as a brand? So, and that's where your offers and coupons come into play. You need to have a steady stream of coupons and offers or something which will entice them to give part of their data. It is basically, if they're giving, let's say if they're giving you their data about when their birthday is, you need to make it worthwhile for customers to give that piece of data to you, right? And that's where the engagement also comes into play, saying that, hey, like, let's assume free pizza for your birthday. And we have seen that many a times people would love to share their data as long as there is something in it. And again, the something in it, it has to be meaningful enough, and don't skimp on saying that we will give you a 5% off or a 10% off. It has to be worthwhile. So put yourself in customer shoes and say, would I as a customer be willing to give my birthday if they're offering me just a 10% off on my birthday, right? Again, I'm not saying that 10% by any means is a wrong offer, but is that good enough for your customer to give out one piece of their information to you, right? So again, here the emphasis when we are talking about engagement, we are talking about getting customer data and using that customer data to refine and define your awareness campaigns. The third one is, like, again, from an it's the third stage is what we call as an action in this case. Again, the tools and the strategies which we use are to do with how can you make sure once a customer starts engaging with you, they might start liking your brand, they start like sharing your pictures and all those kind of things. But how can you make sure that that particular customer has actually made a purchase, right? In the sense that, can they actually place an order? Is it easy for them to use a coupon when they get a coupon in their email? So for you as a restaurant owner, you need to make sure that you are using tools and ways and means in which their a customer's ability to transform from engagement to action is very easy. For example, like, if you take, like, again, we are going back to Facebook, um, you should be able to say, hey, like this page and get 5% off. And then when they get this 5% off, they should be able to use that 5% off by clicking a link, like on Facebook below the cover page. You can actually have this the call to action button which says shop now. So the customer should be able to use it there and then itself. Like, you need to create that urgency. Let's assume that, hey, use this coupon within the next half an hour to get free delivery or something like that, right? Like there's a football game going on right now, and you say, hey, if we hit, like, Cowboys hit like a touchdown, and you want to give everyone a free breadsticks within the next 5 minutes. So that means you should be able to tweet that, saying that next 5 minutes you're going to have a free breadsticks. You place an order online, and then there has to be a link on for an online order. So that is basically what we are calling as ability to engage the customer and provide tools. In terms of, when we say tools, it should be easy enough for them to use any kind of a coupon or ability to click a link and place an order. It has to be very smooth and without any hitches. If they have to jump through hoops, you would not get any customers basically making the switch, or the number of customers who are making the switch from engagement to action would be very limited. When anyone takes this, like for example, when any customer places an online order, you as a restaurant owner are getting tons of data, tons of customer data. It means you're actually getting their name, their address, their email ID, along with the credit card information if you want to store it, but we would not recommend that. Along with other data in terms of what their preferences are and all those things. So you can start using this data, again, going back to your awareness and engagement, right? So at each stage, whatever data you get, it does actually have an impact on other stages too, in the sense like you got an email, now you can use this email to send further future coupons, or you can start tracking them whether they're coming back within a week or not. And also with regards to social media, right? When they place an order, you can actually have them advertise or announce to the world saying that, hey, I placed an order, or I went to basically, or you can also have something saying that place within the next 5 minutes and you will get another coupon or something like that. So there are multiple ways and means in which during this action phase also you can influence and you can create some kind of an awareness campaign with regards to each purchase a customer is making. So that is where you need to have a preset defined strategy saying that, okay, if a customer is making a purchase, can I say that get 5% off of this order if you publish this or if you post this on your Facebook, something on those lines. So that way the customer is getting immediate benefit in terms of posting it on their Facebook page, and then all their customers are actually or all their friends are actually knowing that hey, Seshu actually placed an order with Bay 34 Pizzeria, and then I can also place an order, and by the way, I get like free cheese breadsticks because Seshu referred me to them, right? And same case, you can actually take that to your in-store as well from an action point of view. You can actually have ways and means you can identify if it's a first-time customer. I was actually reading a blog sometime back, which it says it's a simple exercise. You as a restaurant owner should be able to identify if it's a first-time customer and let all your staff know that this is a first-time customer. So for example, have a separate napkin or something like that, a blue napkin instead of a red napkin, so that everyone in within your team knows that this is a first-time customer, and making sure that they get the extra attention in terms of customer service. And then also nudging those people who are in your store to either check in with a check-in offer or ability to post a review while they're using some kind of a feedback mechanism, and so on and so forth. So again, the tools which or the strategies which you want to use in this phase are around letting their friends know that they made this action. The customer had made this action. When we say action, it is that they made this purchase or that they have actually visited your place. And so that way you are not only trying to get data in terms of the engagement from an engagement point of view, but you're also letting the customer's friends know that they have been to the place. So that is basically the third stage, what we call as an action stage. The fourth stage is like, again, is what we call as the loyalty phase. Again, in this phase, the customer is loyal to your brand. They are actually coming to your restaurant quite often and making that purchase. And they will arrive at this phase when either a result of multiple engagements, multiple actions, but this is an important stage where you would like to get more data. All right. Again, you as a restaurant owner should make sure that you actually have a loyalty program. For example, I visited like an ice cream shop like last week, and they asked me for my phone number to be part of it, and I wasn't very keen on being part of that one, and I spent $14 on that particular ice cream shop, and they said, hey, listen, like you basically spent $14, you got 14 points, The staff actually told me this. And if you spend another $6 more, you will get a free ice cream next time. And I said, oh wow, right now it's summer in Texas, I'm going to spend more than $6 for my next visit. So at that point of time, I've actually given my phone number. So in the sense that if you look at it, now this ice cream shop actually has my phone number, and I just got a text today morning saying that, hey, come on over. It's Tuesday evening. We actually are running a Tuesday evening special. So what it shows is, like, even though I have visited there for the first time, because the offer was so good, I went ahead and gave my phone number, which is an important piece of me as a customer, because right now the phone number is as unique as actually your social security number, right? So I have actually given this one. So in a sense, you as a restaurant brand or restaurant owner should make sure that you actually have a good loyalty program. Your team should be aware of different offers that are there as part of the loyalty program, and the team actually has to be trained such a way that they actually can nudge customers in joining that loyalty program, and make sure that these loyalty programs have multiple levels of offerings. In the sense, you don't need to spend $100 to get like a $25 gift card. You basically can actually spend $20 and get like $3 off, spend $50 and get $10 off, spend $75 and get $25 off. Those kind of multiple levels, so that from a customer point of view, they are being rewarded with shorter visits or shorter spend of time, right? And the same case, like, again, here, if you look at it, right, you are able to get some kind of customer data using this loyalty program. And then you can also push them to, again, as we are talking more on social media, you can also push them to saying that for every visit you do this, and we're going to add X number of points to your loyalty program. So that way, I, as a customer, I'm not only incentivized, I'm not only getting more points, but also my friends are also knowing that, hey, I've been to this place multiple times, kind of a thing, right? So, and the second approach which we have taken with most of our customers is feedback mechanism. What it means is you actually have to listen to what customers are saying and act on that one. In this case, like, for example, let's say you have a feedback tool on which is displayed all across using your tabletop counters and all those things. And you say, hey, give us your feedback, and we will we'll make sure that we act on that one, right? So what it entails is, like, when I give some feedback to a restaurant, and the restaurant responds back saying that, hey, thank you very much for your feedback, whether it's positive or negative. If it is negative, you are better off by reaching out to the customer via email and with a phone call, and apologize about that negative feedback and try to find out what exactly has happened and take corrective actions. And if it's a positive feedback, obviously you need to let the team know about this and tell them that, hey, because of this, like, for example, going back to my loyalty program, right? Because the customer has nudged me to saying that there is actually a $20 on a spend of $20, you'll actually get a free ice cream. I was able to basically subscribe to that loyalty program. Now let's assume this way. I went ahead and put this review on Yelp saying that, hey, actually I had a great experience, and I also joined the loyalty program because this employee basically told me about this offer. Kudos to that employee. Now this is a feedback mechanism on Yelp. Definitely, it's a not just your on your any other device or on any other tool. But using this tool, you can train your staff saying that, listen, like, we got a positive comment on Yelp, and because of that, like, you can see we got a phone number of a particular customer, and this customer is gonna come back on Tuesday because we are offering him a free ice cream. Again, just as an example, right? So your feedback mechanism, you need to make sure that You need to have proper tools to let the customers know that they can provide feedback either on Yelp, on Facebook, or any other platforms, or else on your own tool of your choosing, that you can actually say, hey, I would like to provide feedback. Maybe it's as simple as going to your website, right? So in terms of, again, the end result is when you're looking at this, you're actually getting customer data in terms of using the feedback mechanism as well, right? And then the last stage is what we call as an advocacy. This is more to do with your word of mouth. Initially, we talked about awareness, running some social media campaigns. Now, if you look at from an advocacy point of view, or a brand ambassador, right? If you take any customer, a customer is more prone, or they are more likely to hear out about a particular brand or a particular restaurant from their friends and family than getting an offer or seeing an ad on Facebook, right? So the best thing is, again, this is the emphasis is mostly on creating as many brand ambassadors as possible throughout this customer life cycle. So that means you need to have good engagement. You need to make sure that when they are taking or when they are making a purchase, that purchase process is smooth, and you need to have a good loyalty program. And throughout all these stages, the customer engagement or the customer experience makes a whole lot of difference, in the sense, if you make sure that all pieces of this puzzle, or of this assembly line, if I can call it that way, fall in place, you would actually have many more brand ambassadors who will be talking about your brand. Now, once you are there, you also have to make sure that you provide them with tools and some kind of strategies around this to make sure that the brand ambassadors are constantly talking about your restaurant offering and all those kind of things. So in the sense that, like, if you look at, have a good referral marketing system in place. So for every order they make sure that they get a unique link, or each customer gets a unique link, which they can actually refer this link to their friends and family. Like, for example, recently we have actually installed a Drift as a customer, as a website tool for answering questions. Immediately after installing, after a day or two, I got an email saying that, thank you for installing the tool. Oh, by the way, this is a unique link. If you refer your friends, you would actually get like X dollars off, and your friend also will get X dollars off, provided they subscribe to this Drift paying model, right? Similarly, you can have the same thing even during the restaurant, for a restaurant purchase as well, in the sense, once a customer makes a purchase, you would actually say, thanks for your purchase, or by the way, this is the unique link which you can share, and for every person who comes through us to place an order through using this link, they would actually get a free cheese bread or a free cheesecake or something like that, and you would also get something. So your advocacy program from a tools perspective has to be such a way that your customer should be able to use it. They should be able to disseminate that particular offer or information to their friends and family very easily, right? And that's where that's where the advocacy program we have seen fails, because they do not emphasize on the current customers and giving them the tools for them to go ahead and use these tools or strategies or offers that enable them to share it, right? Again, end of the day, you have to answer this question: what's in it for the customer, right? So we have talked about the entire, like, the different stages of a customer, how we can convert a customer from being aware of your restaurant all the way to becoming a brand ambassador. And when we talked about different tools in terms of, like, Pixel, we talked about loyalty programs, we talked about check-in offers, we talked about having good content for engagement, and also good referral marketing. So all this, like, again, at each stage of this particular customer life cycle or customer journey, you as a restaurateur will basically get a lot of customer data, in the sense that you should be looking out for data. You should actually have that approach towards saying that, hey, I'm implementing this solution, or I'm implementing this one, so I should get this data, and I should be able to use this, not just getting the data, but ability to use that data to kind of refine and define your marketing approach, right? That's what the emphasis is. Like, from a customer engagement model perspective, your engagement should lead to customer data, and customer data should be you should be able to use that data to better engage with the customer. So it is more like a cyclical process that you have to take care of. And there are many tools out there in terms of doing this one, in the sense that, but there are, like, what we have all, again, the tools are like kind of siloed, in the sense, like a loyalty program, you actually have a loyalty program which only talks about, like, for example, again, going back to my example, I've got this loyalty program, but this loyalty program does not talk with my online ordering system. So when I place an order online, they actually cannot club my online order points with the visit which I've done at the store, kind of a thing, right? And that's where actually mKonnekt comes into play. So if you look at it, right, we talked about, like, mKonnekt as an engagement module, or engagement platform, customer engagement platform. What we mean by that is, mKonnekt is, like, at a very high level. If you look at this one, we have built tools around engaging the customer, walking them through the awareness stage all the way to the advocacy stage. And through these stages, as we talked about, we are getting customer data, and we are collecting that customer data and creating a customer profile, and using this customer profile again to kind of refine and define your marketing strategies. That's at a very high level what mKonnekt is all about. So we, again, it is nothing but a restaurant marketing platform enabling you as a restaurant owner to kind of get customer data from multiple phases of a customer life cycle, and then use that data to kind of market to your customers better, right? And then that's in a nutshell, right? Again, if you look at the key takeaways that you might have learned from the from this webinar is, how can you use social media as an engagement tool? Like, what are the different ways and means in which you can use social media as an engagement tool, not at just at an awareness level, but in terms of an engagement, in terms of how can you influence from an action point of view, how can you influence social media, or how can you use social media during the loyalty phase, how can you use social media during the advocacy phase, right? And then during all these phases, you are generating some content. You should be able to collect that content, you should analyze that content, and then act on that content to better engage with that particular customer, but also try to gain new customers based on that particular customer persona which you are creating. Again, we talked about Pixel, we talked about Google Analytics, we talked about UTM codes and all those kind of things. So these are the key takeaways that we would like you as a restaurant owner or a marketing agency to kind of think about, saying that, okay, how can I start my journey towards collecting customer data? Again, it starts with a small step. It starts with a small step as creating some kind of an offers on your website and asking to collect the email addresses, and then using that email addresses to further your data collection process, if we can call it. All right. At this point of time, if there are any questions, feel free to do it over the chat. All right. Thank you very much for joining the webinar. We hope it was a good experience and good learning experience. Please feel free to ask any questions if you're unable to ask here. We are always available. Our email ID is advertise@mkonnekt.com. You can also reach us on phone at 619-Connect. As we would be using, or we would actually be um, featuring more webinars around tools and strategies in terms of like how to's kind of a thing going forward. And we hope that you would actually subscribe to these webinar sessions. Again, we are relaunching our website as well. Stay tuned, and any other questions, feel free to reach out to us using email or through phone. And thanks for attending this webinar. Have a good day.